Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Barnstable, Unitarian Universalist. I'm Crystal Gips, a member of this congregation since 2010. We acknowledge that our church and lands rest upon unceded ancestral territory of the Wampanoag peoples, who've lived and been sustained in this area for over 12,000 years. I extend a special welcome to our visitors and encourage you to join us after the service for fellowship and coffee. If you would like to know more about the Unitarian Universalism or how to get involved in this church, please fill out the guest card you will find in the pew rack in front of you and return it to an usher or to me. Our mission is to be a welcoming congregation of and for all ages, working for justice and compassion in the world, encouraging spiritual growth and thoughtful dialogue. Here we celebrate the participation and presence of people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or gender nonconforming. Here, Black, brown, and immigrant lives matter. Here we lift up the consumption crisis, which has led to the climate crisis, and promote the values of a sustainable planet. In the spirit of welcome, please rise in body or spirit and greet one another. I have one announcement. That is, if you've been dreaming of getting scones today after the service, you're in trouble. Yesterday, the scone sale was successful to the end, and by my calculations, we sold 200 bags of scones, which is 400 individual scones, which were baked by our crew of bakers and sold by those who sell, wave signs, etc. So congratulations to those workers. And maybe we'll have some scones left over another week. I want to offer a special welcome as an announcement to Poetry Sunday, something that has become a bit of a tradition here on a Sunday when Kristen is not present to preach. Someone really recently asked me why it is that I do this each year. The truth is, I don't recall how I fell into this role, but I'm happy to be here. Yes, I have a BA in English. Yes, I taught high school English for 10 years, but that ended 50 years ago next month, which was shocking to me when I figured that out. I suspect that initially I started coordinating this event because I can organize things and see them through to happening. But I'm happy to say that I love doing it because it gives me reason and opportunity to read a lot of poetry, discover poets new to me, and see what others in the congregation find moving. I hope that you enjoy the next hour as much as I do, and as much as I enjoy helping it to happen. To start the service, I offer the following poem by one of our Cape Cod's best, Mary Oliver. It's called The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who's eating sugar out of my hand, who's moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who's gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Suzanne Norman, would you light the chalice for us, please? We light this chalice to the quiet present, a spark of warmth in a busy world, a beacon of hope for all who gather, and a flame of love to guide our way forward. Please rise and body your spirit to join in the affirmation printed in the order of service and remain standing for hymn 292. Love is the doctrine of this church. Quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity and fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant together. Please be seated. As we gather our minds, hearts, and spirits together to contemplate the joys and sorrows in our lives, I invite you to embrace all beings in your warmth and compassion. If you would like to participate in our ritual of pebbles, please come down the center aisle in 2 lines, pick up a pebble, place it into the community waters of hope and compassion, and return to your seat down the side aisles. Please come forward. Suzanne, will you help me again, please? Please place a pebble in the water for Gail Everts, who has spent all too many days in hospital in Falmouth, but is now back home and recovering. And a second pebble for Steve Waller, who is in the hospital in Sacramento. His wife, Jane Ward, is with him there, and they are keeping watch. Thank you. I invite you into further contemplation with a reading of a piece from one of our UU ancestors, Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's called These Roses. These roses under my window make no reference to former roses or better ones. They are for what they are. They exist with God today. There is no time to them. There is simply the rose. It is perfect in every moment of its existence. Before a leaf bud has burst, its whole life acts. In a full-blown flower, there is no more. In the leafless root, there is no less. Its nature is satisfied, and it satisfies nature in all moments alike. There is no time to it, but we postpone or remember. We do not live in the present, but with reverted eye, lament the past, or, excuse me, heedless of the riches that surround us, stand on tiptoe to see the future. We cannot be happy and strong until we too live with nature, in the present, above time. To invite you to share what you wish to give to this church, I read the words of Albert Rios, a poet laureate of Tucson, Arizona. I like his simple and direct thoughts and language. It seems so Tucson appropriate to me, and quite fine for us as well. The poem is entitled, When Giving is All We Have. One river gives its journey to the next. We give because somebody gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We've been better for it. We've been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and over again. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue, and I gave you yellow. Together, we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have. I gave you what I had to give. Together, we made something greater from the difference. Will the ushers please come forward to receive your gifts? Please rise and join in the doxology printed in your order of service. Now we come to the part of the service that consists of the poems and the readers who volunteered to participate in this service. There was much interest this year, and it was exciting to see people who've read before, people who've never read, poems we've not heard before, and folks who really, I think, did some hunting to find what says they wanted to share. So I'll call up each of the readers, and then I'll get out of the way. So we begin with Suzanne Norman reading Countenance by Carolyn McDade.
No song has come before its time. It is only the singer not ready, the one who, listening, secures the shudder against the night air, the coming rain. It took me years to know, amidst these sounds, their ramblings, the rush and push of clabbered meanings, the haughty pile of words and slick holes of apology. She comes. Ever so often, she comes. A song. A rupture with pretension. She walks out of the heart, its fold of hills, its damp, persistent marshes, its long and perfect curve. It is her countenance that names her, her lack of detour from fields of fear and danger. In a fastened world, she comes not clinging. In all the rush to understand, she is patient with meanings. In the clamor for hope, she says but one thing. This life, in all its ache and beauty, is worthy, my friend, of living.
Thank you, Suzanne. Next, we have Christopher Shaw reading Sonnet 18 by Shakespeare.
If you're like me, reading words from the 16th century, you know it's hard. Is that better? Thank you. Hearing it is harder, in my view, and so I will go slowly on this. I'm certainly no Shakespeare. Thank you, scholar. What I love about this is both that it's summer, but also it's two lovers, and one speaking to the other, comparing the love he or she has for her lover, and nature. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou oust. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal times to Tam thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Phineas Fisk will read his own work about Avery Brook.
The title of my poem is About Avery Brook. Let me explain. My family owns a little cabin in northwest Massachusetts in the tiny town named Heath. A little stream runs past our property, Avery Brook. Now, this poem was written for publication in a local Heath newsletter, so it has references that may be puzzling to non-heathens, but let's give it a try. So, about Avery Brook. Who knows just where such things begin? Perhaps in that mucky spot in Hulbert's Field? Maybe further north beyond the road? Springs rise where they will. By the time it gets to our little cabin, it is tumbling and chortling its way over rocks and down little falls, carefree, full of hope. Upon entering our pond, it pauses for a little nap, then discovers the hole in the old dam and escapes, helter-skelter, down the hill. We don't see it again until we're driving down the hill ourselves, where, having achieved some force and substance of its own, it's been rewarded with a culvert beneath the road. Somewhere further, now grown into a genuine tributary, it splashes into the Deerfield River, where it must learn to obey the timing and discipline of a string of hydro dams upstream and down. Driving the interstate, we cross its water one more time. Now it consorts with myriad others on the way to the Connecticut River, where placid and serene it will make its final exit into the infinite Atlantic, and through the mystery of evaporation to hydrologic heaven. Back home again, we stop at the cabin door and listen for its happy burble, always fresh, always new, repeating, ever repeating, the cycle of life.
Next, Owen Fletcher will read his own writing called Democracy.
Good morning. It might be my writing, but it was deeply inspired by John Dewey. And for those who don't know, John Dewey was an American philosopher and educator who saw democracy not as a rigid system, but as a dynamic, active force. So in his 1939 essay, Creative Democracy, The Task Before Us, written as fascism was rising across Europe, Dewey urged everyday people to take responsibility for keeping democratic values alive. So I wanted to translate that, even though it's not 16th century or 15th century Elizabethan English, it's still a little formal. So I wanted to translate that vision for a modern audience. So when my wife Sarah suggested I read it this morning for Poetry Sunday, I noticed how naturally it fits, and his philosophy fits with our Unitarian Universalist principles of truth, community, and equal worth. So, democracy. Democracy is a way of life. It is not self-sustaining, not just for nation or state or just for elections. It is vital, it is personal, it is faithful. Not generally faithful, but with a specific faith. Faith in human debate, faith in human wisdom, faith in human possibility. In discovering together each idea, in working together each day, in creating together each truth. Free assembly, free speech, free press. We will organize here, we will vote here, we will govern here, create change here, together, as we sustain it, democracy as our way of life.
The next reading is On the Pulse of the Morning by Maya Angelou. This was spoken, read at the inauguration of Bill Clinton back in the 90s. Paul Tugas.
I just wanted to give a profound thanks for the opportunity to read this poem here this morning by the Unitarian Universalist Church. On the pulse of morning, a rock, a river, a tree, host to species long since departed, marked the mastodon, the dinosaur who left dried tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us clearly, forcefully, come. You may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no hiding place down here. You, created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance, your mouths spilling words, armed for slaughter. The rock cries out to us today, you may stand upon me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. It says, come, rest here by my side. Each of you aborted country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting, perpetually under siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. Yet today, I call you to my riverside. If you will study war no more, come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the rock were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew you still knew nothing, the river sang and sings on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They all hear the speaking of the tree. They hear the first and last of every tree. Speak to humankind today. Come to me here beside the river. Plant yourself beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed on traveler, has been paid for. You who gave me my first name, you, Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you, Cherokee Nation, who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the empowerment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Arab, the Swede, the German, the Eskimo, the Scot, you, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Kru, bought, stolen, arriving on the nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourself beside me. I am the tree that planted by the river, which will not be moved. I the rock, I the river, I the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon this breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands, mold it into the shape of your most private need, sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for a new beginning. Do not be wedded to weather. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out and upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country, no less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eye and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. Thank you, Bob.
Yes. Did I skip? Okay, we'll go back to Dave. You're somewhere in here, Mike. Dave Bryan.
This is a poem by Danusha Lamaris called Small Kindnesses. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or have strangers still say, "Bless you," when someone sneezes? A leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we're saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back at us, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. But what if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, "Here, have my seat." Go ahead, you first. I like your hat.
Suzanne Wall, Weapon in the Hands of Love.
I'm reading the lyrics from a song written for a band called Rumors of the Big Wave by Charlie Murphy. He wrote this song in the depths of the AIDS crisis and was inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King's powerful sermons about powerful resistance called Weapon of Love. Weapon in the Hands of Love. Things take time. It's so hard just to know this. I've had dreams hanging on the line so long, I hardly notice them. Hanging in the rain, hanging in the sun. It's a miracle they resist coming undone. They resist coming undone. I keep on believing. It's just a force of habit. You can never know for sure that there is no hope. When a heart is open, there is a world on fire. Weapon in the hands of love. Too many people never knew what hit them. They are prisoners of an undeclared war. Whether to calm the beast or whether to kill it, gotta really know what it is you're fighting for. Everybody wakes up, even the rocks are dancing. There is no end to how far a life could shine. When a heart is open, there is a world on fire, a weapon in the hands of love. Weapon in the hands of love. There is light pouring through these windows. There is darkness in the center of my heart. Another brother taken from us, like so many others. He was cut down by a demon in disguise. He was cut down by a demon in disguise. Everybody wakes up, even the rocks are dancing. There is no end to how far one life could shine. When a heart is open, there is a world on fire. Weapon in the hands of love. Weapon in the hands of love.
Ryan? Hymn of Breaking Strain.
The careful handbooks tell us, let all who build beware of the load, the shock, the pressure that materials can bear. And so, when the buckling girder lets down the grinding span, the blame of loss or murder is laid upon man, not on the steel, on man. But in our daily dealings with stone and steel, we find the gods have no such feelings of justice toward mankind. To no set strength do they make us, for no planned course prepare, and in time they overtake us with loads we cannot bear, too merciless to bear. The prudent textbooks give it, in tables at the end, the stress that shears a rivet or makes the rebar bend, what traffic will wreck asphalt, what concrete can endure, but we, offspring of Adam, have no such literature to warn us or to make sure. We hold all earth to plunder, all time and space as well, to wonder stale, to wonder at each new miracle, until, in mid-illusion of godhood in our hands, fall multiple confusions on all we did or planned, the mighty works we planned. We, only of creation, how much luckier the bridge, the rail, abide these twin damnations, to fail and know we failed. Still, we, by which same token we know we could be gods, take shame in being broken, however great the odds, the burden or the odds. O veiled and secret powers, whose paths we seek oft in vain, be with us in this, our hour of overthrow and pain. That we, by which sure token, who know thy ways are true, in spite of being broken, no, because of being broken, may rise and build anew. Stand up and build anew.
Next to Al Starkey, reading his piece called Wet Wool in Winter.
Right time of year for this one, huh? Wet wool and winter. When I think of this church and you all, members of this church, I often first think of how you and we stand up for what is right, how we protest what is wrong, and we get out there and we do it. So this one is for you. Wet wool in winter. Die-hard dissidents leave their homes, wanting to take a stand, have a voice. Imperfect as they may be in their protests, they hold it to be their duty, their calling for discounted people and cherished beliefs. The birds are praying before dawn again, their chants and liturgies calling the sun that rises to listen and warm their frailty. But for their holiness, darkness would fill the world, and a cold silence would reign like a tomb. Reticence plagues us like wet wool in winter. Indifference masquerades as innocence, while the die-hard dissidents and saintly birds do our work for us. Watch us turn away and stare into distance, unmoved.
Diana DeGioia will read Infinity by Brett Warren.
Brett Warren is a Cape Cod poet. She lives in Yarmouthport. This is from her first book. Her second will be out later this year. Infinity. I used to wish that when it was all over, I'd be able to visit an alternate universe where we'd be our true selves again. You in your 50s, me visiting from college, my heart years away from knowing what breaking was, my arms resting on the cool Spanish tiles while you made drinks. We'd go out to the patio, dangle our feet in the double hexagon pool, a cubist infinity symbol. And I'd tell you the story of how it all happened. I'd skip over the worst parts, like how they tried to put you on antipsychotic drugs because you were naked in the dining room, and it was upsetting to people who were visiting their fully clothed parents. Instead, I'd start with an abridged version of the car accident. I'd tell you the funny things you said when you started to go off the deep end. I'd describe the pretty silver of your hair and tell you how everyone loved you, no matter how crazy you became, even if they didn't know you before, because you were always still you somehow. We'd have gin and tonics with triangles of lime, and our glasses would sweat pleasantly while our feet swayed back and forth in the silky and luminous water. The lights of Los Angeles would still obscure the stars, but you would fill the universe around us with your radiant face and your radiant eyes and your radiant soul. You'd say how wonderful this life is, no matter what. You'd tell me I handled everything exactly right, just as you knew I would. Later, we'd curl up on opposite ends of the Danish sofa, where just by sitting together, even with all that happened, we'd remember how lucky we are. You'd get out your brushes and your ink and write in the air, in the calligraphy of your unmistakable hand, ad astra per aspera, to the stars through difficulties.
I hope that these readings can let you see why I enjoy doing this. It's such fun to see what people bring together and how it all seems to fit. My direction this time was bring something you like. So there was no theme, nothing from my end holding it together, and it all works. Let's give the readers a hand. Thank you all. Please rise as you're able to sing hymn 323, 323. Oh, thank you. Okay, it's 324. And remain standing for the benediction. We close with A House Called Tomorrow by Albert Rios. You're not 15 or 12 or 17. You're 100 wild centuries. And 15, bringing with you in every breath and in every step, everyone who has come before you, all the yous you have been, the mothers of your mother, the fathers of your father. If someone in your family was trouble, 100 were not. The bad do not win. Not finally, no matter how loud they are. We simply would not be here if that were so. You're made fundamentally from the good. With this knowledge, you never march alone. You are the breaking news of the century. You're the good who has come forward. Through it all, even if so many days feel otherwise. But think, when you as a child learned to speak, it's not that you didn't know words, it's that from the centuries you knew so many, and it's hard to choose the words that will be your own. From those centuries, we humans bring with us the simple solutions and songs, the river bridges and the star charts and song harmonies, all in service to a simple idea, that we can make a house called tomorrow. What we bring finally into the new day, every day, is ourselves. And that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books, cure disease, make us proud, make yourself proud. And those who came before you, when you hear thunder, hear it as their applause. Please be seated.